There are countless studies that claim to help us find a place to retire from the working world. I think I have looked at most of them, but recently I came across a study that put a different slant on the retirement search plan. They focused this study on where you might want to be just before you retire. It looks at the challenges facing a 45 to 64-year-old getting ready to move on to retirement. The motivation for the study is financial. The good folks at LPL Financial thought this kind of a study would help its thousands of financial consultants provide better guidance to their clients. This is a big company serving $485 billion in retail assets. Big, so they have lots of loot to put into a study. They decided to look at all 50 states using 6 broad categories that they claim represent retiree desirability and health preparedness. They chose financial, healthcare, housing, wellness, employment and education, and community quality of life. Within each category, they looked at 4 to 6 diverse subcategories to provide depth and balance. For instance, in the welfare wellness category, they looked at obesity rates, physical activity, and percentage of smokers, plus other stuff. For each subcategory, each state was assigned a score based on the state's metric in relation to the national average and the distribution of state-level data. Basically, all the categories were weighted, resulting in grades A through F for every state. Thinking about this, I wondered what we all would want to know to help decide where to live approaching retirement. What kind of things would I look for? These are the kind of things our elected representatives should be thinking about as they manage our state's affairs. So how did the LPL folks do selecting areas of interest? Let's take financial. The importance of a state's fiscal health ranks high across all surveys of pre-retiree preparedness. The study measured cost of living, median household income, private sector retirement assets, state pension funds relative to pension obligations, and lastly, tax burden. Ouch. Healthcare. Here they looked at discharges from ambulatory care, sensitive conditions per 1,000 Medicare enrollees, healthcare expenditures, the percentage of 45 to 65-year-olds covered by health insurance, and so on. In housing, they measured home healthcare costs, home ownership rates, median home priceless values, and nursing home care costs. The community quality of life category looked at the social factors like the percentage of mortgaged homes in foreclosure, percentage of population living in poverty, and of course, crime rates. The employment and education category looked at what happens in the 20 years before retirement as we earn enough money to retire. Employment offers benefits beyond daily pay. The 401k, pensions, health insurance, and health savings accounts. Now, the last category of wellness looked at personal habits and the tendency as they impact the last years of working and then retirement. The subcategories here were estimated remaining life expectancy for 65-year-olds, the percentage of adults age 65 plus diagnosed with diabetes, the percentage of adults 18 plus who are physically active, the number of smokers, and lastly, obesity. All the categories, including subcategories, the authors could get at from national and state databases. The overall state grades included 5 A's, 10 B's, 20 C's, 10 D's, and 5 F's. Top 5 states with the A grades were Virginia, South Dakota, Wyoming, Michigan, and Iowa. No Florida, you notice. How about the B group? Well, Massachusetts made it here at 14th, with 3 A's, a B, and 2 D's. Okay, let's end the suspense. Rhode Island came in 36th. The company did the first study last year, 2015, and another for 2016. So we have 2 years to see any trends. Rhode Island dropped to 36 because our healthcare grade dropped from an A to a B. The remaining grades in Rhode Island were financial D, worth 35% of the overall grade, wellness C, worth 10%, employment and education a B, worth 10%, housing D, worth 15%, healthcare B, worth 20%, and lastly, community quality of life C, worth 10%. Our finance and housing grades skewed the overall grade a whole bunch. So if you are looking for a good place to spend your time in pre-retirement work, there are 35 other states that did better than we did. Now, imagine the number of financial consultants, journalists, and viewers of Common Sense on YouTube who have formed an opinion about Rhode Island. Wouldn't it be grand if we tackled each of these subcategories with the purpose of improving our score when they do this study again in 2017? And you know they will. Thank you for watching, and God bless.